In the fall of 2011, a small rural hospital in the Ontario town of Kemptville accomplished a few pretty incredible things. It became the hospital with the highest employee job satisfaction rate and the highest employee engagement in the province. What this video is about is the power available to an organization, and in fact to an entire system, when good people are happy to work together to build healthier communities. You see, this hospital, Kemptville District Hospital, saw that as a small organization, they had the potential to help solve a big problem. So they partnered with one of the largest teaching hospitals in Canada and began performing total joint replacement surgeries. There are long waiting lists for knee and hip replacement services, and very few small hospitals in North America perform this form of orthopedic surgery. What you're about to hear is how the people at Kemptville Hospital embraced the opportunity to be a different kind of small hospital, and how it felt to be engaged in meeting a system-wide challenge.
There was a feeling of happiness in the building. Lots of people knew something different was happening here. That was fun. I went to the nursing floor, and there was a sense of anticipation there that you don't normally get. A different kind of patient was coming, and people were excited about that. People realized that day that it was worth it, and we actually did do what we said we were going to do, and we're a different organization now. I was walking down the hall, and one guy who had just got a new knee the day before gets out of his bed, or fortunately the physio was there, so that's, you know, a lawsuit averted. But he goes out of his way to walk to the hall the day after he has a new knee to thank me, and then he gave me 5, 6 names of people whose participation in his care he remembered and wanted me to know. To go from, you know, 500 scopes 5 years ago to doing joint replacement now, learning our way there by ourselves would be foolish. The Ottawa Hospital has a tremendous capacity. They have surgeons, obviously, some of whom are choosing to provide surgery here as well. The knowledge transfer that they enabled in a period of 6 months, we couldn't have learned on our own in 3 years. So partnering with some people who really know what they're doing got services to people faster, and now, it's unkind to say, but if I had a choice to get my knee done here or at the Ottawa Hospital, knowing that the clinical care is identical and the only differentiator is the service, given what I just said about how wonderful the feedback is around our service, I would pick this place 100 times out of 100. It's just a nicer environment to get care in. And the fact that the clinical quality is the same as Canada's largest teaching hospital, it's fantastic.
We were all very excited, the whole hospital was. I do remember my team being very prepared. We had everything, from a physiotherapy perspective, we had everything in order. We had all the equipment in place for our patients, and we had our plan in place, and the first patient that came from the OR, we were all ready to see them, and they were very excited to see us as well, and it was a great day. We were all very excited about it. I think it has increased everybody's confidence, and we know that we're able to do this. We know that we're successful with this. We know that as a team we work well together, and we've done very good work for all of our joint replacement patients, and I think you'll hear that from many of the patients.
It was October 17th, and we just completed our first joint replacement surgery, and there was a smile on everyone's face. Every KDH staff member had, you know, this beaming smile. And I remember that it was almost electric. The atmosphere was electric. The closest thing I could compare it to would be the Winter Olympics in Vancouver, when everybody in Canada was just so proud and so relieved that Team Canada had done amazing. There was such a sense of accomplishment. In the same way, we were over the moon that a small hospital like us had pulled off what some people might think was the impossible. We had regional program status, and we had done joint replacement surgery. Together, we had opened inpatient rooms that had been closed years earlier. So not only were we a regional program, we had a new inpatient ward, we had hired new staff members, and everybody came together as a team. It was a culmination of huge amounts of work, but was unbelievably successful. That day, to me, defines success.
I was fortunate enough to go in and observe the very first surgery, so it was kind of neat for me because I started over in the pre-op unit, met the patients, so I knew who was coming in for the surgery. I met the lady who was going to have her first surgery. Then I got to go witness her operation. So it was kind of exciting for me because I got to do the whole gamut thing. So our first surgery came out maybe 11:30 in the day. We were expecting her to come out nauseous and vomiting because she had, you know, a heavy anesthetic and everything like that. And she was wonderful. She was bright-eyed. She had no pain whatsoever. You know, alert. She was just astonished, and she wasn't the only one, so were we. But it was just a positive experience all the way around. I'm so excited for this program, and I hope it continues to grow. You know, we're putting our whole heart and soul into it, so hopefully it will continue to grow.
I get the honor and privilege of reading some letters from very satisfied patients that we've had that have come to Kemptville Hospital to have their total knee replacement. One of the very first patients that we had on day one is a patient by the name of Renee, and she writes, "1 month later, I'm finishing physiotherapy and I have increased range of motion in my knee. I'll never forget the staff at Kemptville Hospital. They were genuinely eager to help, every one of them. The minute I stepped in, I was welcomed, and it just went up from there. I felt that everyone at the hospital really cared about me and would do anything to make me more comfortable. I was so surprised when one of the nurses called me at home the week after my operation to see how I was doing. I had my other knee done at another larger hospital in the city, and my experience at Kemptville Hospital was completely different. I've been recommending Kemptville District Hospital to anyone who asks where I had my knee done. Keep up the great work at KDH."
The waiting time at other hospitals to be able to have your knees done is quite lengthy. So a lot of the patients here were very happy to be able to have their knees replaced within such a short notice, and to be able to have their knees done, have the pain taken away, and be able to start on the road to recovery. So it was nice to be a part of that. You can sense a different excitement in the air. It seems like a lot of people are happy to be part of something new. And we have all the wonderful new surroundings too. All the building has really been renovated and really spruced up. And we have that sense of excitement amongst the nursing staff, the physio staff, and everybody else that gets to have an opportunity to help out, which is very nice.
I think it's wonderful that they're doing the knee replacements here, because it's certainly, because people are waiting so very long for them in the Ottawa and the other area hospitals. But I think this certainly, and I think we certainly have the facility for it. Our facility is wonderful. I'm lucky enough to be a volunteer and just to work in the gift shop. It's creating more business for us, because they're in here before they have the operation, and then they're in here after looking, and so they're great shoppers.
Well, I have to admit, this project was out of my comfort zone. I had not worked in the healthcare industry, and but the enthusiasm and the team effort really matched anything I've seen in my 10 years as a project management professional. So it was the dream team, and it all ended extremely well. And I think that the results of the project will help move Kemptville Hospital forward and open up new possibilities for us in the future.
We worked as a team very well with the new program, and we have had challenges with special diets that were not typical to Kemptville. So our first patient who came through the TJR was a vegan who we had to all of a sudden find food for, because Kemptville is typically kind of a meat and potatoes type of community, so I went out and purchased vegetarian food for her. And as a result, that lady wrote a very nice letter in the Ottawa Citizen thanking us and, well, the whole team, because it was a team effort that we were able to provide what she needed. And it's been good. It's a great benefit for Kemptville and it's a great benefit for the hospital. I see growth in KDH. One of the things that really impressed me since I've started working at KDH is that it's a progressive community in that everybody wants it to grow. The TJR is one step in that process, and I think we're just going to get bigger and better as we move along.
We had a letter from Dora. She was also one of our first, and she actually had this letter put into the Ottawa Citizen. And what she says is, Kemptville Hospital cares a lot. I recently had a total knee replacement at the Kemptville District Hospital. I'm from Ottawa, and so is my doctor. He has recently started performing some surgeries out of the Kemptville Hospital. When I received the call that the surgery would be there, I had a lot of anxiety, as my only other experiences were at bigger hospitals. From admitting to discharge, my experience couldn't have been more positive. Dr. Dervin, my surgeon, Dr. De La Salle, the anesthetist, Janet, Barbara, and nurses Michelle, Abby, and all of the other nurses and volunteers, and I apologize for not remembering all of their names. The kindness, care, and service given was exceptional and way beyond words. I have never experienced such excellent personal care, and I've had many surgeries before this one. I have other upcoming surgeries, and I would be happy to drive an hour to Kemptville Hospital to have them there. My advice to anyone whose doctor has the privilege to do their surgery at Kemptville Hospital is that you will be extremely lucky to receive such wonderful personal care. Care that is not experienced anywhere. No need for any stress or worry. A very big thank you to all the medical staff and volunteers at Kemptville Hospital. You are all very special.
We've got 8 new beds in the hospital, and so we've got a lot more outpatient work coming through, pre-admission work. We've got a lot more surgical work coming through because of course they come through surgery and then they're admitted, so we've got more work generated from that again. Our roles have changed a little bit. There's been a bit of a shuffle in work responsibility, and it's been for the good.
It certainly put us on the map. People are starting to talk about Kemptville, which is nice. We started planning the program 6 months before, which isn't a lot of time to design a whole new program. So it was pretty intensive during the summer. And we had our ups and downs, but we started on time, and it was really incredible that we got it all done, and our first patient came through with no problems at all. So we're really happy with that.
I think as a community, we're proud that we've got innovative thinking at the hospital to help us expand a growing community. I think it's innovative thinking on behalf of our CEO to articulate that down to the hospital board, and then for the board, you know, to make that call to the foundation to be part of that to help fund the equipment.
We've had a very quiet surgical program here that's slowly been building over the last few years, and it helps us to put a little stamp on Kemptville Hospital as just a useful component of the healthcare services in our LHIN. There was a ton of work done by a lot of people, and a lot of obstacles that need to be cleared, and it's nice to know that we were able to work together and get that done. I think the knee program will be huge, a job well done.
Well, for the board, again, it's very rewarding to see that it is working out. As a board, we're always challenged to make this hospital relevant. And we have an excellent facility with excellent staff here. So how the challenge then is how do we keep growing, and how do we stay relevant with all our partners in the healthcare field around Ottawa. One of our mandates as a board is to make sure that we push forward integration measures. And this is an example of integration that works properly. where you get more out of the system without it costing more to the system. Surgery was a waning program here 9-10 years ago. With the redevelopment of the hospital, even before the redevelopment started, we started talking more and more about surgeries and making it happen. How we could be, as a small hospital, a player in reducing wait times. With again, the excellent staff that we have here, with Colin's leadership, with his senior leadership, they started making it happen so that even before we redeveloped the hospital, surgery programs were revived here. So it's excellent that we're finding new ways of doing more surgeries, and that the surgeries that we are doing are becoming more and more complex. As we find opportunities to partner with hospitals to make that integration happen, and this joint replacement program is a partnership with the Ottawa Hospital, a very big player in the healthcare field here, cooperating with us, a small player, but again, making things happen in a better way and faster. So we will keep looking to use our surgery capacity to the fullest, for sure. It's another step along the way to becoming a bigger small hospital, so it just bodes well for the future.
And a third letter is from a patient named Carol, and she says, "I want you to be as proud of your staff and hospital as I am. Never have I received such care, compassion, and smiles from any place else. Even the cleaning lady was smiling. Your level of care and love for your patients shines immensely. The staff at Kemptville Hospital should be very proud. I am to have known you all."
There were many preparations. I'm in building services, which includes housekeeping and maintenance. So we had to prepare the rooms for the patients, which involved terminally cleaning and setting up the room with the beds and the making of the beds, and mostly infection control to make sure that we had that totally under control. It was quite exciting getting prepared for the total joint replacement program to begin for all of us. So far it's been nothing but positive. It seems busier, but it seems that, I guess, is the good thing about it. It's kept its small town atmosphere, even though we're doing really big things now.
From a bookings perspective, from medical records, we've had to come up with a whole new process for the TJR project. We were only booking day surgery before that, and it's an inpatient stay and different visits before the actual surgery and stay, and then coming up with a process for following these patients up for the TJR project. So it was quite intensive for the booking clerk to learn this new process, and a learning process for everyone else involved. Worked very closely with the OR and the inpatient wards to come up with a process that was as smooth as possible. And I think there's a feeling of accomplishment with this new program and everyone working together to make it as successful as possible.
For Community Care Access Center, we do setup of services in the home. And my role at KDH is a little bit unique in that I do the discharge planning for KDH as well as the case manager role. So I get to see the people in the hospital and do the discharge planning with them before they go home. And because our patients are going home early, all of the patients get a physiotherapy visit at home. The really great thing with the knee program is that there are people that are very excited to have the surgery done. Some of them have been waiting a long time, and they're so thankful to have the surgery done and then to have those services at home. The whole team works so well together. The physiotherapists here give me the information that I need to pass along to the physiotherapy team at home, and that gets passed along to the outpatient team, so it really flows along really well. We've had such good feedback. They just rave about how wonderful the staff has been and how they feel so well looked after, and they don't want to go back to the city for any other surgeries. They want to come back here if they need any other surgeries. So it's been so positive.
people look at it and say it's a small community hospital, and what could it do? Well, we've just demonstrated to the people that live in this area that we can be very pertinent in that health care continuum. I think it's really important for us to recognize that every person in this hospital has had a role in making this successful. It's not one person or one group of people, it's everybody in this hospital has contributed to the success. We've been working at this since I arrived here in early spring, late summer, early spring of 2011. I'm very proud of what we've achieved, and I think that as we further develop the total joint replacement program, that people from not only our Champlain-Lynn, which is the Ottawa area, but right across the province of Ontario are going to be looking at us as an example of what a community hospital can do.
My gosh, that was probably the scariest yet most exciting day. Just hoping that everything would go as planned, and perfect. It went off beautifully. It was a great day. We had 3 patients coming in, and it was, the staff just rolled through and it just all fell into place so nicely. The whole atmosphere of the hospital has changed. It's what I see, it's just become so positive. People are talking, everybody's got to know each other more because all the groups have come together to work as a team to get this together. And all the feedback from those patients has been phenomenal. This gives them back quality of life that they have been missing. With not being able to do the things that they could do, they're so thrilled. And some of them can't wait to book their next knee here. So it's nice.
I've been involved with building the OR programs from day one here at Kemptville Hospital. So we've watched many minor programs develop. So then it evolved into the total joint program, which was an amazing step for us because the initial steps, it was much more hospital involvement, whole hospital involvement for the planning. It wasn't just 2 people taking on the challenge of setting up a minor program. It was the whole hospital. It was a whole hospital initiative, you know, how were we going to do it, you know, what guidelines were we going to follow. Right from the get-go, it was our program to build and partner with Ottawa Hospital to teach us how to grow through it. So it's been a great opportunity for us. After the first day was over, it was a huge feeling of accomplishment for everybody because it was a true success. It's been a true success right from the very beginning, the days that we've had. Patient satisfaction has been tremendous from every aspect, from the time of their admitting, all their pre-physio arrangements, their OR days, the recovery, their floor experience. It's been very positive. It allows us to be recognized as having a regional program. Again, as our motto has always been, it's offered care closer to home, but has given us a more than a minor procedure, you know. It's given us a true program for the whole hospital. It's allowed us to give us an inpatient focus again. We were losing inpatient care stuff. We haven't done inpatient post-op surgical care in a lot of years, so it's opened that up again. So it really has involved every department of the hospital to be involved every day in it still.
The Ottawa Hospital does a large number of total joint replacements, hips and knees, and the hospital has been faced with some very difficult challenges around high occupancy and overcrowding. On one occasion, I was in conversation with Colin Goodfellow, and he suggested that Kemptville was looking at increasing their orthopedic services in the area, and wondered whether we had a need for orthopedic services. And after a couple of conversations, it was apparent that Ottawa Hospital needed some extra capacity. Kemptville had the extra capacity. We brought together the leadership, from the Ottawa Hospital, the head of orthopedics, Jeff Dervin, the vice president responsible for surgery, Paula Doring, and the director responsible for surgery. And like all good things that happen in a hospital collaboration, you get the right people working with the right people in Kemptville, and they just actually worked miracles and moved mountains to allow more patients in the Champlain Lynn to experience a great quality of care in a more rural setting, and certainly in less hustle and bustle. So my sense is that great leadership, collaboration, and all the patients will benefit from it. It really truly puts the orthopedic patient at the center of the decision. We all worked around it to ensure that we were able to provide more services in a quality setting, and in the end, the collaboration between the two hospitals has allowed us to serve our patients. After all, that's why hospitals exist, to serve our patients better in the Champlain Lynn. The community hospitals are very capable of providing that service, and in fact provide it very well. So the quality of care that the patients are receiving is second to none, and the patient experience is really the ultimate experience. I think what's really unique about Kemptville is that we took the idea, agreed upon who was going to lead it, worked together, and made it happen. And surprisingly, it's always been out there as a good idea, but making it happen is the real success story here.
I just wanted to say a few words about how privileged I feel to be part of Kemptville Hospital and the Total Joint program that we launched here. What I really want to say is that it is a team effort that took the entire hospital working together to make this happen. Housekeeping staff, materials management staff, ordering supplies, finance, the nursing on the units, diagnostic imaging, the OR, everybody worked tirelessly to make this happen, and we're very, very proud that we've done it, and it's been so successful.